The next event, the final of the women's 10,000 meters. The great Ingrid Christiansen, world record holder at 5,000, 10,000 meters and the marathon, and a lovely lady quite apart from that as well. 35 years of age now, Ingrid. Nothing less than a legend of athletics. But it's a quality field ranged against her. Several world cross-country champions there. Liz McColgan, who's been in great form this year from Great Britain and really fancies her chances, as do one or two others here. Number 367, Katrin Ulrich, will be dangerous. Albertina Dias of Portugal has run well in world cross-country championships. There's Ingrid Christiansen putting on the gloves, rather like some sort of traffic policeman, but that is not the job in hand today.
It's going to be fascinating to speculate on the tactics on this race. You've got some really classy runners. Christiansen, the world record holder, Liz McColgan and Jill Hunter, who must, there's Jill Hunter, must try to make it fast. They've got to make it fast and hard all the way. I would have thought it would be sensible for them to have got together and agreed to share the work amongst them, because they've got to get away and trying to take the sting from the kick of people like Katrin Ulrich and Yelena Romanova.
Anyone with the remotest interest in the sport anywhere in the world would have paid the earth to be there and seen that. This the start of the women's 10,000 meter final. A quality lineup, and the girls had been standing there on the start line waiting for fully 5 minutes while that incredible long jump of Mike Powell was going on that at long last broke the 23-year-old world record of Bob Beamon. But of course they have a gold medal of their own to shoot for, and the tactics in this race will be absolutely fascinating. Liz McColgan says she's in the form of her life. She leads early on. The British athlete, she's been winning at all manner of distances, a series of 3,000 meter wins, which suggests she's got some speed. And she told me at a press conference a couple of days ago that she does not believe she can be beaten here, no matter how the race is run. That's how bullish she is about her chances. We will see, because there are several kick finishers, and the scenario before has been if somebody can stay with McColgan, they have painfully outspeeded her during the final burn-up. It's Britain 1 and 2 on the first lap, which they go through in quick time. 1 minute 11.51. That is well inside 31-minute schedule. It's probably 30-30. Peter Matthews will be able to tell me a bit more about that.
Well, it's a sensible pace from McColgan. She's doing exactly what she should. It is quick, but it's not so quick that she'll destroy herself doing it, I think. Important stage of the race. This is the 2 kilometer point, and the time shows 6 minutes 9.42, narrowly inside 31-minute pace.
We're coming around with 19 laps of the 25 still to complete in the 10,000 meters. Not much change in the pattern. Liz McColgan taking it from the front for Great Britain at something inside 31-minute pace. Her teammate Jill Hunter has run on her shoulder throughout there. Little Doratu Tulu in the green and red of Ethiopia is third. Ulrich, Germany, very dangerous in a finish. European and World Cup winner in the past. Also, Yishak of Ethiopia is up there too. So too is Lynn Jennings, who's won the last 2 world cross-country titles. And there's been no split in the field yet. Zhong of China and Ingrid Christensen, the defending champion, whose preparation has been hampered somewhat by illness and injury. Is she just toiling a little? It's a little gap, only the tiniest little gap at the moment between the first, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then Christensen, but she worked a little bit and maybe she's back to them. But just signs of a gap there, and Christensen having to work at it at this stage.
9:16.96 at 3 kilometers means it's now stepped a little outside 31-minute pace, but that's very good running in these sultry conditions.
Liz McColgan, who once used to work as a 23 pounds a week factory worker in Dundee, and rather got fed up with that life, and I think that was part of the reason that she was inspired to enter the athletics world and look for greater glory, and she's found it too. A couple of Commonwealth Games gold medals and an Olympic silver, but she'd love a major championship gold, and with respect to the Commonwealth Games, you cannot really afford the title major championship to it, because the Africans and the Americans, of course, not to mention people like Ingrid Christiansen, aren't there. McColgan 1, Hunter 2. Tulu, who's been having acupuncture treatment as part of her preparation, we've been reading in the Japanese press. In third place, the 19-year-old, who is the world junior champion and second in the world cross country. So what a talent she is. Interesting how the African nations are now beginning to produce top women runners as well as top men who've been established for some time, of course. Katrin Ulrich, the German, in fourth place. Not a fluent mover, you wouldn't say, but a very effective runner, and with some terrific speed in a kick finish. Yishak, Lynn Jennings, very, very strong American champion, right up there in the dark strip, in about sixth place there at the moment. Coming around with 14 laps to run in the women's 10,000 metres. Britain's Liz McColgan has led all the way, but watching her and watching her and watching her all the way too, Durato Tulu. Ingrid Christiansen, the defending champion, has been detached from the main group, white with the blue shorts. You can see her in that second little group of two there, and pain written on her face. She's had illness and some injury this season, and she's going to have to work and perform miracles really if she's going to defend her title here, and it doesn't look as if that's going to happen, even though they still have a long way to run. Two Ethiopians are right up there. Lynn Jennings, here's Ingrid Christensen. Is she going to stage a rally? What's the pace like, Peter?
Well, it's still being, I mean, Liz McColgan is setting an almost metronomic pace here at around about 31 minutes, 5-second pace. And that is succeeding in what she wants to do, which is to gradually whittle this group down. Christensen taking a sponge. Interesting that the runners in these very, very humid conditions are able to take sponges. We rarely see that in a track race.
There's Ingrid Christiansen, the world champion, and so brilliant over a variety of surfaces, of course, and distances. But this, I think, is not going to be her day. Aiming for the Olympic marathon, she tells me, next year. Christiansen in trouble as they get towards the halfway stage now, and McColgan, if anything, just beginning to look as if she's winding it up ever so slightly again.
And there's a group of 5 now. Jill Hunter is dropping off the back too. So too, I think, is Lynn Jennings.
Just past the halfway stage in the women's 10,000 metres, and significant developments. Liz McColgan of Great Britain and Durato Tulu of Ethiopia have opened up a gap over Zhong from China and Katrin Ulrich, the German, who has to be close enough if she wants to deliver a kick finish. Christensen has dropped right back. She is out of it as well. Lynn Jennings is back in about 5th place at the moment in the 3rd group, but McColgan's metronomic, relentless piling on of the pressure from the front is telling on these runners now.
It certainly is, and Ulrich looks all out, I think, and Ulrich is the one who's got the kick. Tulu, of course, is something of an unknown quantity, has been a star on the cross-country, the double African champion at 3,000 metres and 10,000 metres last year, but has never run anything approaching this time until, of course, the heat, when she sprinted away there. Good runners are dropping out all over the place now. We've already had Romanova out.
And that's Päivi Tikanen, who was 4th in the 3,000 metres. So 2 of those runners are in the 3,000 metre campaign, finding it a bit too much to attempt 2 distances in Tokyo in what is pretty bad humidity for the runners. McColgan in the lead. There's Lynn Jennings, world cross-country champion twice, and looking back there, some good names like Asiago have been left in arrears. Jill Hunter's dropping back all the time now, and it's McColgan and Tulu, but the story of Liz McColgan's life really when it's really mattered, as in the Olympic Games, was that there was somebody who would stick with her and then out-kick her in the final stages, because she is not renowned for having a kick finish, Liz McColgan. She really is a pile on the pressure from the front merchant and hope to burn everybody else off. But she's confident she can win it however it's done, and so far she's putting up some performance. But can she get rid of Tulu, and can she keep this up?
Yes, well, when she had that Olympic silver medal, of course, a great performance, she had Olga Bondarenko on her shoulder, and Bondarenko was very much a known quantity, very much one of the world's great runners. Tulu is very much an unknown quantity. Nonetheless, when we saw her in the heat, we saw that she could sprint away pretty fast then.
There's Jill Hunter going through. A Geordie girl who's quite a star on the road race circuit in the United States. But she will not be playing a hand in the finish today. 10 laps to go. Liz McColgan, Great Britain, leads in the women's 10,000 metres. The only one staying with her is Tulu.
Seven kilometres gone. The time 21 minutes 50.09. It's 31.10 pace. Tulu briefly took the lead for the first time from McColgan. McColgan's back there.
Liz McColgan back on the track less than a year after having a baby daughter, made an astonishing return to athletics and had a fabulous season. But Dorato Tulu is right there with her. 7 laps to go in the women's 10,000 metres. Liz McColgan leads for Great Britain. Dorato Tulu, the Ethiopian teenager, in second place. And those two now with a big lead over Xiuting Wang of China, who was 8th in the Rome final. And they is battling for the bronze medal with her compatriot Zhong, also of China. But McColgan won and Tulu too, and it's really cat and mouse now, Peter.
It's a wonderful display. I wonder if it went through McColgan's mind to take a little bit of a breather and let Tulu take up the running for a while. I wonder if that would have been sensible, or is it better psychology to just grind it out and try to show the little figure of Tulu who's boss?
6 laps to go for the leaders in the women's 10,000 metres. There's Katrin Ulrich, who many people felt would have a hand in the finish, but she's back in 5th place at the moment. You're looking at the race for the bronze medal, and at the moment Zhong is in 3rd place for China, and Xiuting Wang is in 4th. Lynn Jennings there, Ingrid Christiansen, all among the casualties, and a long way adrift and in danger of being lapped. And there up front, you can see now that Liz McColgan is getting away from Tulu. Is this the decisive break in the race? McColgan, often beaten for the silver medal, and Britain so often foiled here, searching for a gold medal. Roger Black and Sally Gunnell yesterday, but Liz McColgan is away here. She ran the semi-final in flat shoes on this hard track because she didn't want to carry any calf injury or any repercussions from a 10,000 metre run into the final. She's got the spikes on though this time, and when she comes round she's got 5 laps to go, and she's broken Tulu now. She's gone 40 metres clear of Tulu, and Liz McColgan, twice the Commonwealth champion, looks as if she's on her way to the world title. Little Tulu's run a cracker here, but she's got no more to give and is now just racing for the silver. It looks like McColgan's gold if she can stand up.
Well, the question throughout this race was, we knew what she'd do, she knew what she'd do, she would run at a relentless pace and try to get away from the whole field. The question was, could kickers like Katrin Ulrich and Yelena Romanova stay with her and outkick her at the end? The answer is decisively no. McColgan's relentless pace, it's not world record pace, it's about a minute outside that, but in these conditions, in humid conditions, in fairly windy conditions, they've got to run into it every time they come into the home straight. It is certainly one of the great runs of all time. It's hard work. She had to run right from the start all the way on her own. That's desperate to get your mind right to work that out, and she's done it. She's slowing ever so little, but the other runners are slowing so much more. Now she's got the job of picking out runners she can hone in on each back that she sees in front of her, and that'll help her as she comes through now. She's just got 4 laps to go.
Well, she was so confident. 4 laps to go in this women's 10,000 metres, and Liz McColgan is clear for Britain and Scotland, of course, and they will be loving this back home in Dundee, where people will be out of their armchairs, I should think, by now. Tulu is in second place.
I wouldn't mind betting the silver could well go still to someone like Ulrich. Tulu is second, and then we've got the 2 Chinese, but it still might get someone quicker like Ulrich, who's in 6th place, able to pick off these, because Tulu is slowing desperately, having given her all in a wonderful duel, really, and trying to stay with McColgan.
There's McColgan. Well, she weighs a little more than 7 stone. She's only 5 feet 6.5 inches tall. A running career that blossomed at college in the United States, when, of course, she used to be known as Liz Lynch. She took it from the front in the Olympic Games. She got out-kicked by Bondarenko for her trouble and only got the silver medal. And it's a pity, really. Liz, who's been ringing her little daughter, who's only a few months old, every single night, who's back home with Granny, and you mentioned the babies, and Liz lights up in a smile. It's the only time she doesn't look tense. There's the time just going through, and it's some performance from McColgan.
Certainly is. She's slowing slightly, a 76 second, then a 76.5 second lap, but it's quicker than almost anyone else in this field, and she's opening up what a big lead now. She's got something, best part of 80 meters, I suppose, back to Tulu at the moment.
And McColgan now lapping runners on her way. Sponges were available for the first time in a championship 10,000 metres to the runners here under a new rule. Several of them took advantage of that.
Well, that's the last kilometre post that she'll have to go through. The time said 28 minutes 9.70. That's equating to something like a 31:20 race. She was on about 31-minute pace throughout the first half of this race, which really began the process of destroying a quality field. And this is a quality field, and this is such a quality run because she's doing it in difficult conditions, and she's doing it in such bravery and such brave style. She comes up now with 2 laps to go.
And Scotland, of course, have had their disappointments here with Tom McKean and Yvonne Murray. 2 laps to go for Liz McColgan, who's away from the field and on her way to Britain's only gold medal of the World Championships so far, just when it seemed as if Britain's top team in Europe over the last 3 years or so, although the Soviet Union might argue about that, were due, it seemed, to possibly go without one. Big stars in arrears.
Yeah, and the big battle on for the other medals, because Tulu had just been caught there. But and there's Ulrich coming through, 2 laps to go for her. But McColgan is not slowing. In fact, that last lap she speeded up a bit to 75 seconds.
Ingrid Christiansen there battling on. Long way behind. Her big target, though, is the Olympic Games next year and the marathon. She seemed quite relaxed on her way into this. I don't think in her heart of hearts she expected to win. Jill Hunter there is really, really struggling. And when Liz McColgan comes around this time, she will get the bell. Liz McColgan is 430 metres away from the World Championship in the 10,000 metres at the end of what's been a quite stupendous season for her. She was so confident going into the race, and that's the way it proved. She almost stumbled over the curb there for a moment.
But she's getting quicker. That last lap, 72.5 seconds, and she's got some pace left in her, despite this relentless pace that she's set throughout.
And that was obviously part of her race plan. She knew she might have to do this because there might be somebody with her on the last lap. Happily for her, there is nobody to worry about at all. She's destroyed this field. Liz McColgan involved in an acrimonious split with her coach, John Anderson. She's here with her husband Peter, who's in the steeplechase for Britain. And what a celebration it's going to be. Under 200 metres to go now. And Liz McColgan on the final bend. Only the straight ahead of her. 2 Commonwealth golds to her name. She looks tired. She's not the most elegant of movers, but my goodness me, is she effective. McColgan is powering home here to take the gold medal for Great Britain in the women's 10,000 metres. She is the champion, and she's almost on her knees from it. 31 minutes, 14.34 seconds. And the race for the silver medal, and it's Zhong who looks as if she's going to get it. The 2 Chinese in 2nd and 3rd places. Zhong ahead of Wang Xiuting. Zhong silver, Wang Xiuting getting the bronze medal, and Katrin Ulrich of Germany in 4th place. Those are the first 4 finishers in the women's 10,000 metres. And all around the stadium, British flags are suddenly flying, and they've been conspicuous by their absence. Certainly in the first few days of the championships, things picking up yesterday, and today a gold medal. Ingrid Christiansen coming home, very well beaten here. And she's, the first thing she does crossing the line, and it's so typical, is to congratulate Liz McColgan. Well, Liz McColgan, who ran 5 miles in 31 minutes when she was 6 months pregnant. She loves chocolate. There's her husband Peter, the steeplechaser. And that's what it means. All the work, all the obsessional training to this one goal, and it's paid off. Words can't really describe what it means to an athlete to achieve a goal and a dream like that.
There are some desperately tired women out there. They've run this race in appalling conditions, really, but the excitement of winning, and Liz almost looks fresh.
Well, it's marvellous what a victory can do for you. She's taken off the spikes to, no doubt, ease what were probably aching feet. It is a hard old track here. It's great for the sprinters. It's not so great for the distance runners. And she's off on a lap of honour, and she'll milk every single moment of it. And all around the stadium, people are off their seats in acclamation of Liz McColgan's performance.
And I'm quite sure Ingrid Christiansen will want to be one of the greatest admirers of that performance, because Ingrid knows what it takes to run such epic performances. Ingrid, the world record holder, of course, at this distance and at the marathon. And Liz McColgan is a very worthy successor as the greatest distance runner in the world.
Liz McColgan, the world champion, in 31 minutes, 14.34 seconds. Zhong of China, who took the silver medal. Chinese, a real threat in women's distance running. She was a World Student Games silver medalist in 1987, and consistently in the top 4 in the women's road race as well. Huandi Zhong. There'll be other days for Ingrid Christensen. She's reeled off marathon wins after marathon wins in every city that matters. Will Barcelona be added to that list next year at the Olympics? I know Liz McColgan was flirting with the idea of doing the Olympic marathon, but I'm sure after this she'll want to repeat her world triumph at the Olympic Games.